Hello, good morning, students. Today we are going to. Yesterday we had started the chapter, the last lesson, but I had given the intro, the introduction of the author, as well as I had told you the summary. And today we are going to start the chapter word by word. So, very carefully read the chapter and see the difficult words in between the chapter. Okay. So, this chapter starts when little French he is going to school, and this is an autobiography. He said I started for school late, very late that morning, and was in great dread of a scolding, especially because M. Heman had said that he would question us on participles, and I did not know the first word about them. For a moment I thought of running away and spending the day out of doors. It was so warm, so bright. The birds were chirping at the edge of the woods, and in the open field back of the sawmill, the Prussian soldiers were drilling. It was all much more tempting than the room for participles, but I had the strength to resist and hurried off to school. So little Franz is going to school, and he has already got late, and he was in a great dread. Dread means fear. He was in a great fear of scolding by his teacher M. Hamel, because he was very strict, and he was supposed to ask the questions on participles, and little French had not prepared the chapter participles. He had not done that topic participles, so he was very scared of his teacher. Moreover, he wanted to enjoy the nature outside. It was so bright, so warm. He wanted to look at the birds chirping at the edge of the woods. He wanted to look in the open field back of the sawmill where the Prussian soldiers were drilling. This drilling exercise was very tempting for him. So, students, sometimes a question is there in the boards: what was more tempting for little Franz than going to school? So, the two things are there. He wanted to enjoy nature. He wanted to enjoy the birds chirping at the edge of the woods. He wanted to enjoy the Prussian soldiers doing drilling exercise. Okay, though it was all much very tempting and attractive for him, but he could not stop there. He did not have the strength to stop there, and hurried off and went to his school. Okay. When I passed the town hall, there was a crowd in front of the bulletin board. For the last 2 years, all the bad news had come from there. The lost battles, the draft, the orders of the commanding officer, and I thought to myself without stopping, what can be the matter now? So he says, when I passed the town hall, there was a bulletin board. That was the common bulletin board for the whole district, for the whole city. And for the last 2 years, all their bad news, because the war was going on, and all the bad news were written on that bulletin board, like the lost battles, the draft, the orders of the commanding officer. And today little Franz thought. He did not stop there, but he just thought, what can be the matter now? Why is there a crowd? So he thought, what can be the matter now? Then, as I hurried back as fast as I could go, the blacksmith watcher, who was there with his apprentice reading the bulletin, called after me, "Don't go so fast, Bob. You'll get to your school in plenty of time." And when he saw a lot of people gathered there, but he was in a hurry because he has already got late for the school. But he looked at the blacksmith, the watcher, the watchman, and who was there with his tools reading the bulletin, and he just called me. He just called after me. He just called him and said, "Don't go fast. You will have plenty of time to go to school." Because they knew what news was there on the bulletin board, but little Franz was not aware. He didn't know what was displayed on the bulletin board. So I thought he was making fun of me, and reached M. Hamel's little garden all out of breath. So very hurriedly he went to school. Usually when school began, there was a great bustle, which could be heard out in the street. The opening and closing of desks, lessons repeated in unison, very loud, with our hands over our ears to understand better, and the teacher's great ruler rapping on the table. But now it was all so still. I had counted on the commotion to get to my desk without being seen. But of course, that day everything had to be as quiet as Sunday morning. Through the window, I saw my classmates already in their places, and M. Himmel walking up and down with his terrible iron ruler under his arm. I had to open the door and go in before everybody. You can imagine how I blushed and how frightened I was. So, usually, when school began, there was a great bustle. So, bustle means a great noise, that there used to be great noise which could be heard out in the street. And what was the noise? What sort of noise could be heard in the streets? The opening and closing of desks, lessons which were being repeated by the students very loud, with their hands over our ears to understand better. The students used to repeat the lessons together, and the teacher's great ruler rapping on the table. Teacher used to hit his ruler on the table. All these sorts of sounds could be heard in the street. But today, when little French reached the school, he saw that it was so still. It was very quiet. I had counted on the commotion to get to my desk without being seen, because it was so still, it was so silent that, and his presence was, or his presence could be very visible to everybody. So he had to control over the commotion to get to his desk so that nobody could see him. But of course, that day everything had to be as quiet as Sunday morning. Through the window, I saw my classmates already in their places, and M. Himmel walking up and down with his terrible iron ruler under his arm. He was used to be very strict teacher, and he used to have his iron ruler with him under his arm, though he was not very strict that day. And little French had to open the door and go in before everybody, and his presence was quite visible to everybody because it was so silent. Silence there. You can imagine, he says, you can imagine how I blushed and how frightened I was. He was very frightened, he was very scared because he had already got late for the school. But nothing happened. M. Himmel saw me and said very kindly, "Go in your place quickly, little French. We were beginning without you." See how the teacher M. Himmel, who used to be very strict, today he very quietly he said, "Little French, you go to your place very quickly. We were going to start without you." I jumped over the bench and sat down at my desk. Not till then, when I had got a little over my fright. Fright means fear. Did I see that our teacher had on his beautiful green coat, his frilled shirt, and a little black silk cap, all embroidered, that he had never worn on except on inspection days and prize days. Besides, the whole school seemed so strange and solemn but the thing that surprised me most was to see on the back benches that were always empty, the village people sitting quietly like ourselves. Old Hauser with his three-cornered hat, the former mayor, the former postmaster, and several others besides. Everybody looked sad, and Hauser had brought an old primer thumbed at the edges, and he held it open on his knees with his great spectacles lying across the pages. So, little friend says I jumped over the bench and sat down at my desk. Till then, when I had got a little over my fright, he had overcome his fear somehow, but Suddenly he realized, he just see that he just looks that the teacher, he was wearing a very beautiful green coat, his frilled shirt, he was dressing in a very special way, the little black silk cap that was all embroidered and which he never wore except on inspection and prize days. So the dress which the teacher was wearing was very special. Besides, and other than that, the whole school was looking very strange and solemn, means serious. But till now, little French was not, he did not have any idea what was going on in the school. Why was it so silent? Why was it so quiet? Why was the teacher wearing such a special dress? He didn't have any idea about these things, why the teacher was not so strict today. But the thing that surprised me most was to see that the back benches, which used to be empty usually, today the village people were sitting quietly over there. And who were the village people? The old hosier with his three-cornered hat, you can see in the photograph, the former postmaster, several others besides. And everybody was looking very sad. And Hauser had brought an old primer, that he used on the wooden articles, thumbed at the edges, and he held it open on his knees with his great spectacles lying across the pages. He was also looking at the pages. Now, till now, little French has no idea why this all is happening in the school. While I was wondering about it all, M. Hamel mounted his chair, and in the same grave and gentle tone which he had used to me, said, "My children, this is the last lesson I shall give you. The order has come from Berlin to teach only German in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. The new master comes tomorrow. This is your last French lesson. I want you to be very attentive." Just see, this is a very important paragraph, because here little French came to know what was the reason behind all these disturbances in the school. He says, when I was wondering about it, when he was so surprised about his all these things, just then M. Hamel sat on his chair and in a very grave means very serious manner, which he had used to me, like little friends go to their place very quietly, in a very serious manner, he had asked little friends to go to his seat. In the same manner, he said, "My children, I am going to give you the last French, because the order has come from Berlin, that only German will new master of German tomorrow must be your last French lesson. So I want you to be very attentive." What a thunderclap! These words were to me. Thunderclap means like thunder, lightning. These words, he was so shocked to listen to these words. Oh, the wretches, that was what they had put up at the town hall. The poor people who had been there near the bulletin door. Now we could understand that these poor people were so sad. Why were they saying, "Little friend, you have plenty of time to go to school"? Now we could understand each and every word of the people who were there at the bulletin board. My last French lesson. Why? I hardly knew how to write. I should never learn anymore. I must stop there. Then, oh, how sorry I was for not learning my lessons, for seeking birds' eggs, or going sliding on the Saar. My books that had seemed such a nuisance a while ago, so heavy to carry. My grammar and my history of the saints were old friends now, and I couldn't give up. And M. Hamel too. The idea that he was going away, that I should never see him again, made me forget all about his ruler and how cranky he was. My last French lesson. Now little French was very surprised. He was very shocked to hear to this, and said that my last French lesson. He could repent. Now he was repenting that he had not been very serious about his studies. So he says he hardly knew how to write, because I should never learn anymore. I must stop there then. Oh, how sorry I was for. Now he's repenting that he had not learnt his lessons very properly. He has always been there outside for seeking birds' eggs. He involve himself in the other activities like seeking birds' eggs, going sliding on the Sar. Sar is the name of the river. There he used to go for the sliding. His books, which used to be a very nuisance thing, he used to find his books very stupid. But now the books used to be very heavy for him. He used to find those books very heavy for him because it was a burdensome thing for him. His grammar, his history of the saints were all friends now. Now that I couldn't give up, but now he's not ready to give up all these things. And M. Hamel, his teacher, was very strict. The idea that he was going away, thinking that his teacher Hamel will leave the school, that he will not have to he will not have an opportunity to see him again. This all made him forget all about his ruler and how cranky, how strange, how such a strange person he was. All of a sudden he started a liking for his teacher M. Hamel. Understood? Poor man. It was in honor of this last lesson that he had put on his fine Sunday clothes, and now I understood why the old men of the village were sitting there in the back of the room. It was because they were sorry too that they had not gone to school more. It was their way of thanking our master for his 40 years of faithful service and of showing their respect for the country that was theirs no more. So, poor man has been used for M. Hamel. So now he could understand why the villagers were sitting at the back benches. Now he could understand that it was in the honor of the last lesson, it was the honor of his teacher that he had put on his fine clothes. M. Hamel was wearing his fine clothes because he was going to give his last lesson. Now he could understand that the old men, villagers were sitting there at the back of the classroom. It was because they felt sorry. They also wanted to learn something, and they were sorry they had not gone to school more. And it was their way of. They wanted to express their gratitude for their master, for their teacher M. Hamel, for his 40 years of faithful service. They wanted to show their respect to their teacher. They wanted to show their respect for the country. They wanted to show their respect for their language. So now little French could understand all this thing. Understood? So now we'll stop here, and from tomorrow we'll start, and I think half of the chapter we have done and the half we will do tomorrow. Okay.